Hi everyone, Fox 19 Now, First Alert Meteorologist Anna DuVall here with your forecast update. Obviously, there's a live look off of our Newport camera there. It's pretty dark out there. We're really not going to see much off of what that's going on right now. So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at a little bit of a different camera view here once this loads, and we'll get some with some actual light so you can see a lot of clouds out there still kind of taking over the tri-state for the time being. You can see that here off of this camera if you can see those little lighter colors. They're 28 degrees our temperature right now, but it feels like 17. Again, gusty winds making it feel a whole lot colder than it is outside, and this will continue to be the trend here. Again, feeling like 17, gonna need lots of layers tonight. The wind chill is gonna be even less than that moving into the overnight hours tonight. Here's what it looks like for our almanac data. We didn't get very high today, and our temperature is 42 is that high temperature we got today. Our low was 29. We're below normal, obviously, for both of those, but not anywhere near either one of those records there. We saw a little bit of that snow, rain mix this morning in some areas of the tri-state that just kind of lingered on from last night. Here's what it's looking like out there, clouds and radar. Mainly just some clouds out there overall. We're not really seeing any rain, seeing any type of precipitation out there at all. Across the area, here are those temperatures. Again, feeling more like the teens, but here are those temperatures. Again, cloudy skies throughout. Wilmington 28, Batesville sitting at 25, Covington is 28, 31 in Cincinnati. Again, clouds throughout the area. Those places that are already pretty chilly will probably drop a little bit below our 24, but those of you in the 30s still feeling like 24, gonna be 24 tonight, feeling even colder, so definitely gonna need to layer up going into tonight, even tomorrow morning as you're heading off to work. Definitely gonna need a couple of layers out there. Tomorrow, 35 degrees, cloudy, cold again. You'll see a little bit more sunshine tomorrow than we saw over the last couple of days, which is good news. It's still just going to be pretty cold out there. But again, on Tuesday, we have a first alert weather day. Another round of snow showers are going to move in, and that's what majority of this live stream is going to be about. So what is it going to be? It's going to be mainly snow. Down to the south of the Ohio River, that's when you can start to see like a sleet, wintry mix, ice possibility there, but most people are going to be seeing snow moving into Tuesday. And this is going to start Monday night and going into Tuesday morning for that morning commute going through the late morning hours there. So again, that impact is going to be very slick roadways for your commute to work, for your commute to school as well. So definitely give yourself extra time. That's the morning commute is really when the bulk of the snow is going to be falling from midnight to 7 a.m. That's when our heaviest snow is expected to be falling. So just be on the lookout going forward on our Tuesday. I was just talking to you guys a little bit about the wind chill. So I wanted to show you guys the wind speeds out there before we get to more snow. Here, this is what it's looking like. These are sustained, so you're constantly feeling at least a 10-mile-per-hour wind, if not a little bit higher. And those wind gusts right now, 16, 20, 21 miles per hour. So definitely feeling those breezy conditions. But over the next several hours here, that will start to drop off. So around 9 p.m., the wind starts to taper off. We won't see those really strong wind gusts again until we start to move into later portions of the week ahead. So here's that forecast for you again. Those wind gusts start to calm down. We start to have more of a calm wind going into tomorrow morning, which is good news because, again, temperatures are going to be in the low 20s throughout the area. I want to go ahead and find that wind chill graphic for you guys. It'll just take 1 second if you guys want to leave me any comments or any timings you want me to track out for you guys for anything this week in the comments while I look it up really quickly for you. Okay, this should be correct. So moving forward here in your feels like temperatures, again, this is just about right now. Feeling like 15 in Connorsville, 19 in Cincinnati, 20 in Georgetown. So we move forward here, moving into Monday early morning feeling like those 20s, so definitely a very cold morning ahead of us for your morning commute. And then going into Tuesday when we start to see that snow, it's not going to be as windy, not going to be as cold as tonight will be, but definitely seeing very cold temperatures going into Tuesday. So that's what it's looking like for those feels like temperatures. Let's get into the snow forecast, because I know that's why everybody is on here to look at. We're going to start off with a high resolution model that shows us a pretty good idea of what everything is going to be looking like moving forward. So here is Sunday, 11 p.m. Again, we might see a stray flurry out there moving forward tonight, but overall most people are going to stay completely free of any of that snowfall out there. Even going into Monday, just clouds kind of taking over the area. But then as we move into the afternoon hours on Monday, here's when we start to differ. This is when we were talking about later into Monday evening. This is when models start to show some rain moving in, show some snow up to the north. And again, this model and then the next model I'm going to show you, completely different stories, but I'm going to show you guys what our forecast is once we get through this here. So again, 6 p.m., most people staying dry. We got a mix of rain and snow. All of that is going to depend on the temperatures out there. So around 8 p.m., again, we got some rain. You see that pink color is indicating the wintry mix, and snow up to the north there. And then as we move forward through Monday evening into the earlier hours on Tuesday, snow sort of takes over the tri-state there. Most of that wintry mix, sleet chances down to the south of the Ohio River. And it kind of stays that way through those morning hours, 3 a.m., completely taking over 4, 5, 6. It's not until about 8 or 9 o'clock is when that snow starts to move off of our viewing area there, and we start to clear up out of that snow. We'll keep the clouds throughout the day. So that's what it's looking like on this model. We're going to go forward to the next one here. This one also shows the wind speeds. See, this shows those clouds staying in the area. And then around, you can already see the differences here. This is 8 p.m. on Monday. The other model showed a lot of rain starting to move into the area. This one is just showing snow. And again, that just depends on what temperature it is when those showers, snow showers, rain starts to move into your area. So we're watching this very closely. We'll not know until we're a little bit closer, but they are in agreement here as we move forward that snow is really going to take over the tri-state as we move into Tuesday early morning. Tuesday 3 a.m. Again, different model showing the same thing here. Snow completely taking over the tri-state, and it'll stay that way until about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow. On Tuesday, excuse me. So that's really what we're expecting for your Tuesday snow forecast. I want to show you guys this because again, temperature is everything. I'm going to make this look a little bit bigger to you guys. Maybe we can see it a little better if I click on this. Hopefully this looks just a little better to everyone on here. But basically what this is saying is on one side, that's Monday at 11 p.m. there. And you can see that shows majority of the tri-state seeing rain or wintry mix opposed to snow. Now if we look over on the one that says weather timeline, Monday, 11 p.m., the green in the background, that's just for the temperatures. That's not so much any rainfall. That's just showing snow, purely snow there on the right model. On the left model, again, we have the mix of rain, we have the mix of snow. Snow in that model is indicated obviously by the whites and the purples. So that does get a little confusing there, but let's go ahead and move forward, show you guys the next clip. So that's again 11 p.m. on Monday, and you can see the differences there. It just depends on where those temperatures fall, because if you notice on the model on the right there, 29 degrees in multiple places, 30, lower 30s, only 1 or 2 places seeing 32 degrees, making everything on that map snow. But if you look on the model that's on the left, you can really see most places seeing 33, 32, and that's the difference between seeing snow in your area and seeing that wintry mix or seeing that rain. So that's just something that we'll just have to see a little bit closer to time. They're not agreeing on that, but they are agreeing on the timing. So that's something we really need to focus on here. I've moved forward. Now this is Tuesday, 1 a.m. Model on the left, all of that purple, that is snow. That is snow completely taking over the tri-state. Down to the south, you see that pink color. That's that wintry mix that we talked about. Some of that sleet, some of that ice down there as well. And again, just depends on the temperatures. You can see right where that pink is where that 32-degree line is. So it's not as cold as what we're seeing on the model on the right there. Everyone below 32 degrees, everyone seeing snow on that model. So that's just subtle differences, but snow is majority of the tri-state by the time we reach 1 a.m. on both models. So we are definitely agreeing on some sort on we know the timing of it at the beginning. It just gets a little dicey, a little hairy there on whether it's going to be snow or a wintry mix, especially because everything depends on the temperatures. Okay, moving forward, 4 a.m. again, everyone in agreement. Purple indicating snow on the model on the left, completely taking over the tri-state. You can see everyone is below 32 degrees. Model on the right, everyone's seeing snow. Everyone's below 32 degrees. If we click forward one more time, 9 a.m., nobody's seeing snow anymore. So they're in agreement on the exact timing of that. And this is what's important. The exact timing of it, it's hard to show you guys exact snowfall totals, especially when something like this is happening, especially when we see models being so different with just 1 or 2 degrees can make a long, big difference in a snow forecast. That's the difference between wet snow and dry snow or just rain. We're seeing freezing rain. So that's just something we've been looking at very closely. So I wanted to show you guys just like that little comparison there between both of these models because they are in agreement on timing. So when you're heading off to work going into Tuesday, you will be seeing some sort of snow, especially if you leave earlier in the morning, 4 a.m., seeing snow throughout the entire tri-state. If you're up early like I am on Tuesday, that's what we'll be driving in. You need to give yourself a lot of more time. A lot of time, take it slow. I wanted to show you guys, I was talking about how 1 or 2 degrees can make a whole lot of difference. It can make or break a forecast, especially when you're forecasting snow and the temperatures are as close to freezing as they can possibly be here. So here is what we're going to show you. I'm going to show you the 2 comparisons of different models on how much snow they think we're going to get, and then I'm going to show you guys our forecast on what we think the snowfall totals are going to be. So here are those 2 models. Here is model 1, and again, this is what we were looking at earlier. A couple of degrees can make a whole lot of difference. So this is what we're looking at. You can see this pink color streak right down the middle. That's 3 to 4 inches indicated on this model right down the middle. Everyone else seeing that 1 to 2, maybe 2 to 3, but you can see that big long pink streak there. If we move forward into the second model, now this one is a little bit more extreme. This one is showing a little bit more snow for the entire tri-state. And again, a lot of this just depends on where those temperatures hit. We saw the model differences. We saw that one showed rain early on, transitioning into snow. We saw one that was all snow for the whole time. So this one is going to show more snow because it's taking from that model that showed snow the entire morning. And this is what that looks like. Some places seeing this lighter pink color, which is about 6 inches. So that's a big difference from what this model is showing, but it is an agreement that we are going to be seeing a pretty hefty amount of rain, of snow, maybe a couple inches of snow is what we're expecting across the tri-state. This is our forecast of what we're expecting. I want to go ahead, show you guys that. I've shown you guys the differences. Here's what we're expecting out there, 1 to 4 inches, especially if you're over to the east there. Down to the south of the Ohio River, anyone in these pink colors, the purple colors, you could be seeing freezing rain, sleet. Sorry, I guess you can't see that probably. Freezing rain, sleet possible down to the south, but you could still see a pretty decent amount of snow. About 2 inches of snow. Most people are going to be expecting inches over just seeing half an inch of snow, especially with how long it's going to be lasting all morning long. And we can go through timing with that one more time. And again, there are models that we agree a little bit more with, and for me personally, it is this model, and this is one we were showing where the snow starts to pick up there by the evening hours. And this also affects your snowfall totals. Where that snow starts to move in by the time we reach Monday evening, that's where you could see some higher snowfall totals start to pick up earlier on, because some people aren't seeing snow this early, and so they aren't going to have those higher totals that everyone else does. But then it becomes more widespread. You can see right around 1, 2 a.m., the entire tri-state starts taking over, and then we're going to see hours of snowfall throughout the tri-state. It's not till like around 6 here. You can see it's starting to taper off some, but we're still going to see a few hours before that snow starts to move out of the area. So it's just something everyone needs to be taking a little bit of caution with going into Tuesday, especially if you get up early in the morning to head off to work. That's just something everybody needs to be looking out for. It also could be causing some visibility issues depending on how heavy the snow is coming down. We can go through a visibility futurecast here for everybody. As we move forward here, we can maybe see if this goes out far enough to see. And it does. You guys can see that there. Some places with that mild visibility issues going into 3 a.m. Again, that's due to the snowfall. So not only are you going to have slick roadways, maybe some ice on the road, snow on the ground, and you're also not going to really be able to see what's coming in front of you. So definitely take it really easy going into Tuesday. We're still several days out from this, and the models are already aligning, which gives us really good confidence that this is going to be a pretty big event for us moving forward. And look at those visibility issues. Those aren't going to clear up until we get around that 8 a.m. mark. So just be extra careful moving forward. But that is all of the snow that we have to talk about here. This is going to be, so Saturday when that snow fell, sorry, I was reading the comments here. The Saturday when the snow fell, it had to pass, I wish I could explain this any better. We look at soundings, which are weather balloons that get sent up in the sky, and they send us back information based on the atmosphere that it passed through when you let go of the balloon throughout the sky. So it gives us the temperature profile all the way up the atmosphere, and it also gives us the dew point profile all the way up the atmosphere. Use both of these to together to show what kind of precipitation you could be seeing. And yesterday, during the time that snowfall was appearing on the radar, we talked about this yesterday on my live stream, if you guys were on here. At the time that snowfall was appearing on the radar, some people were seeing a few flakes, but most of that snowfall was passing through a dry layer, which shows us on those soundings the temperature profile being below freezing, but then the dew point is going up, and there's a really dry layer where there's no moisture in the air. So as that snow falls, passes through that dry layer, it all sublimates before it hitting the ground, and that's why we kind of got that wet ground sort of rain-like conditions yesterday, opposed to seeing the snow that was falling higher up in the atmosphere. So that's not going to be the case this time for the snow, especially with those colder temperatures, the temperatures being lower. There's going to be a lot of moisture heading into this event. So this is not likely that all of this is going to sublimate like it happened on Saturday. We're going to be seeing a pretty decent amount of snowfall. I see a question here about how much snow northern Kentucky is going to get, and again, it just depends on where that temperature line is going to be, whether you drop below freezing or not. But it is likely, and I'll move this out of the way because I know that you can't really see the bottom here, but that freezing rain sleet down to the south, down in northern Kentucky there, but you could still see up to like 2 inches of snow, so that's still a decent amount of snow, but again, it just depends on where that temperature line is and what temperature it's going to be when the snow passes through. So that's just something we have to watch very closely as we move forward here, because you could see anywhere from 1/2 inch to 3 inches down in northern Kentucky there. And as you move up to the north and east there, you could see up to 4 inches. And again, we went through that model comparison. We can go through it one more time, where those two models varied drastically in how much snowfall it's expecting us to get. Again, this pink color here is 3 to 4 inches down the center. We had that there. And then you can see 2 to 3 inches in that purple color, 1 to 2 in the blue. But then as we push into the next model, again, this one was consistently showing snow. Instead of showing that rainfall like we saw on a different model, this one's showing higher snowfall amounts. So for our forecast, again, we are kind of more in agreement with those higher totals over to the north and east, lower totals down in northern Kentucky area. But yes, we can go through long range futurecast here for you so we can see any more snow that we might be expecting. And again, here's that system coming in Monday evening and kind of taking over the tri-state. And you can see how fine of a line this is between seeing that wintry mix and seeing this rainfall down to the south and seeing snow. There's a very fine line, and again, that difference is going to be 1 or 2 degrees, whether or not you see 1/2 inch to 1 inch or maybe 3 to 4 inches of snow moving forward. But again, this is going to be an all morning affair for your Tuesday from Monday at midnight until 7 a.m. Pretty significant amount of snowfall will be coming down. And you can just see that here, even on this futurecast. That's not really moving out until we get through all of Tuesday morning commute. So just something to keep your eye out on, especially if you go into work really early and you're going to get stuck in some of that snow. Those visibility issues are going to be in effect. Thursday, showing snow up to the north there. So maybe a few flakes here. Again, this is a super long range model. And this is showing Friday, flakes down to our south, but again, long range model could move into our area very easily. This is just giving us that bigger picture there, but you can see that wintry mix, that rain might start clipping our area 1 a.m. So if it's cold enough Saturday early morning, that can quickly change into snow moving forward. So that's what we're expecting. Sunday it's showing snow as well. If you guys want a little bit of a happy note, we can do days until, so 14 days until Hanukkah, 21 days until winter, 25 until Christmas, because tomorrow is that first day of December, and then 32 days until the new year. So that's definitely something to be a little happier about if you don't like the snow so much. 3 to 4 inches, it does sound a little daunting for me. I guess this is one of my bigger first snow event. Here's what we're talking about for the next 7 days though. Cloudy and cold tomorrow. Again, 24 degrees tonight. If you're heading out, it's going to be chilly. You're definitely going to need to layer up. Tomorrow is still going to be pretty cold, 35 degrees. Our high temperature moving into Tuesday, 33. So any snow that's falling is likely going to stick on the ground for at least a little bit. Then as we move into Wednesday, 36 degrees, cold, sunshine. We talked about that small chance there on Thursday and Friday, seeing some snow, seeing some flurries out there. And then as we move into Sunday, we saw that chance again on that future cast of seeing some snow. So we very likely could be seeing a pretty decent amount of snow over the next 10 days. So just keep your eye out on it. But especially Tuesday, we got that first alert weather day on deck for you guys. But that's all I have for everyone. We're going on at a normal time tonight. So we'll be 10, 10:30. In the beginning of 11, we'll give you more forecast updates. But that's all I have for you guys. I hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend and a great start to your work week. Be extra careful on the roads moving forward here, especially going into Tuesday. So have a great night.